Hello all, it is 4:02 on what they tell us is the 23rd of the 6th, 2025. 4:02, 42, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Some of you might get that. But anyway, it falls upon me to do another upload. Just been inspired to do so. This is the Self-Preservation Society. I'm Bazzzilll, Broadcasting Truth and Therapy, BBTT. Here I am using the talking stick. Truth and Awareness on YouTube. And as usual, if this resonates with you, then please share it. You're not sharing me, you're sharing the message. The title is called The Circle of Life, comma, and then Bloodlines. I've just watched something about John Kerry and about Bloodlines and how John Kerry's bloodline goes back to European Jews and this, that and the other. And it just got me thinking from another perspective. It is these bloodlines that we need to eradicate. And I'll tell you why. I've just looked up the word feudal in my online etymology dictionary. Pertaining to feuds, estates of land granted by a superior on condition of services to be rendered to the grantor. Feudal estate, land granted to be held as a benefice of German origin. You see, these people, like the Bill Gates of this world and whatever, that are buying up all this farmland, are merely repeating the cycles of history. Feudal Britain, if you know anything about it, and you don't need to know a lot, all you need to know is that big landowners owned the land and the rest of you were peasants or serfs, SERFS. You doff the cap to them. I've done an upload 3 years ago, 4 years ago, explaining how you'll be doing this again, and that time is fast approaching, if it isn't already here. Because many people still doff the cap, as it were, to their lords and masters, their rulers, kings, queens, presidents, to their so-called elected officials, prime ministers, etc., to their sports stars, movie stars, this, that, and the other, the film stars. They still doff the cap, showing respect to their so-called betters. They've all got what they've got because they've been of service. They've done what needed to be done in order to achieve their control and material wealth over the rest of us. Who have they done it for, apart from themselves? They've done it for their masters, the archons, however you see this, people, archons, rulers, whether they be reptilians or whatever, however you see them. But it's the same shit. Everything is a cycle. It's a circle of life. And the circle of life, as we experience it, is best expressed by the bloodlines. In this physical sense. I'm trying to speak to you in a physical sense, but some of you, like me, will see beyond that to the non-physical, this, that and the other. I watched a bloke earlier on about talking about how they're trying to get rid of small farmers, this, that, and the other. And they've done it before. All these bigger states, most of which, a vast majority of which, certainly here in Britain, following the Second World War, fell into disrepair, were sold off or whatever, because of tax rates. So the masters, the owners, were taken back from their subordinates, the John Kerrys of this world, the Bill Gates of this world. They were taken back off them in the form of taxes, just like they take off you in the form of taxes. We all suffer the same fate. It doesn't matter that you perceptively have a greater amount of money than somebody else. You'll be taxed to the hilt, and you'll be taxed to the death, and you'll be taxed in death by these bloodlines. And because we place so much emphasis on money, whether you're a homeless man or anyone in between that and the Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos of this world, you're just a player in the game. You might be higher up the ladder, so to speak, but you will still suffer. You will still suffer. It may be the 13 families, the Council of 300, this, that, and the other. For me, that's a good place to start. It's a good place to start. And another thought that I pondered today is if Iran or Russia or North Korea were really serious in their intent, then they would drop a nuclear bomb on Switzerland, where the Bank of International Settlements is, this, that, and the other. They would drop a bomb there. They would drop a bomb on the Vatican. They would drop a bomb on the City of London Crown Corporation. They would drop a bomb on Washington. Incidentally, somebody was posting some maps yesterday, some new maps, that show Washington, DC, without the DC. What does that mean? New maps, not old maps, new maps. What does that mean? But the peasants of yesteryear and the serfs, they would doff the cap to the Lord of Masters, and if they went on their land to hunt for rabbits or whatever, they would be, punished, maybe sent to Australia. I wonder where they're going to send us today. I wonder where they're going to send us today. It's an interesting point. I didn't think of that when I started this. But that's what happened in yesteryear. You doff your cap to your masters, paid respects to your betters, this, that, and the other, and they watched you. Today they've got the cameras watching you doing exactly the same thing, pulling you out. You see this in China years ago, and you're seeing it today where, so much facial recognition. But what happened in China is spreading to the Western world. Why is that when we had so much hatred for China all those years, for many, many years, and indeed for Russia? And yet we're adopting their policies. Can you not see, my friends, how as much as we're taught to hate and vilify China in this case. What comes from China? The Black Death came from China and travelled throughout the world. COVID come from China and travelled throughout the world. China has always been a major player in what happens around the world and what the rest of us experience. And today it's, they've got a leader for life there, president for life, haven't they? He voted himself into that position. He didn't. He's just doing what he's told to do by those in the unseen and the unheard, and he's being rewarded in the way that he's been rewarded. The lust for power and control, and having those bow their head as he passes. It's the same the world over. Max Eigen often says the way of Palestine will be the way of the world, and he's right. But equally, the way of China will be the way of the world. Have you thought about that? No, possibly not, because you're still thinking about those crossing your borders wherever you are. Coming in boats or walking across land borders, you're still thinking about that. You're still dancing to the tune of your masters and playing out their programming, living their program within the matrix. You're doing that. And me, I'm mocked and ridiculed and marginalised because I dare, and those like me, dare to bring you something that challenges you, makes you think. But I'll tell you, people, the circle of life is all down to the bloodlines. It really is, no matter how far back they go. And so it's the head of the snake, isn't it? It really is. And I know many people have said that, but I'm seeing it in a different way. I'm trying to explain it in a different way. Cut off the head of the snake and slowly work down to its tail. Destroy it all. What is left? What is left? Because the head of the snake over millennia has simply changed its skin, shed its skin, and become something else. I've said that in recent uploads. The Mongol Empire, the Roman Empire, the British Empire, whatever fucking empire you wish to think about. I'm illustrating here. The snake sheds its skin and morphs into something else. And when it does, in the words of Albert Pike, when they need a saviour, we will provide it. And those that brought down the empires of the past were merely to become the heroes, first and foremost, of that day. And then we learnt to hate them, or somebody learnt to hate them. Because what those new empires done was continued what was done before them. It's a circle of life. It's the bloodlines. And we continue in cyclical ways, just repeating the same stuff. Same shit, different day. Same illusion, different perspective. Because we never learn. We never become aware. Well, I am slowly and surely becoming aware. I'm not fighting my fellow human beings. I'm not wishing them ill. I'm wishing all my fellow human beings would come together as one and man up against that which is one that enslaves you. We are the unorganised truth fighting an organised lie. And it's not just today. It's not just what you're witnessing today. It is cyclical and goes back into history. I've just seen a home in Cardiff for sale, £8 million. Palatial. That is what is represented in those big country houses of yesteryear. And you might think you can buy it and own it when it's 20 odd acres, this, that and the other. But you don't own it, because those that own you can take it back off you whenever they want. They have no fear about you when they can bring down their own, those that have played the part for them, and their time is finished. They bring them down. Those amongst them that turn native, they generally are found with a tie around their neck attached to a door handle. Look it up. Look it up. What you're seeing is what your ancestors have seen before. What you're living through is what your ancestors have lived before. What you have lived before in a previous incarnation. And nothing, but nothing, ever changes. Same script, different time. Exactly the same thing. Please, sir, can I have some more? Will soon be your cry, if it isn't already your cry now. The circle of life is dominated by the bloodlines that control us. I've said to you many times before, when one of their ilk dies, they go looking for the reincarnation in the same way that the Buddhists go looking for the reincarnation of the Buddha. They help them remember in the same way the Buddhists help the new Dalai Lama remember who he is. Or it's a he, remember. It's a he. The masculine dominating the feminine. The men dominating the women. Whichever way you want to look at it. The women, those that bring forth and create life. Whether you're a male or a female, you create anything to upset the upper part, and they will come down on you like they did Stanley Meyer or William Cooper or Ian R. Crane. They will come down on you and they will wipe you out, because they have no problem in wiping their own out. It will continue. Everything now, certainly as far as government goes, is a dead entity, a corporation. Your police are corporations. All your council services, your councils are corporations, and their services are provided by other corporations. Because you're a corporation. You in the capital letters. I am Barry, and I am. and I live in my body. That is my answer. I am not Barry of the family name. I'm not Barry of the surname. I am Barry. And I feel often that I stand alone because of my awareness and knowing and knowledge and what I share with you. But I'd rather walk the path of peace alone than follow the masses. I'd rather walk a path of truth alone than follow the masses. This awakening that I have gone through has caused me so much trauma and pain and suffering. But I don't want that trauma, pain and suffering to continue. So I confront it, I deal with it, and I seek to heal from it in order that I may be that which I am. And so should you. Battle your own mind and your own ego. Transcend your own spirit to find that which you truly are. And then we may be able to sit round in a circle, smoke the pipe in peace and understanding, be to each other as a buffalo is a gift, where we sit perceiving of each other in all of our individual differences. I'm paraphrasing Hayamater Storm from his book 7 Hours. But when we sit perceiving of each other and all our differences, in Lakesh speaks of that. The circle of life will continue because you give it, we give it our energy. Because all we ever do is think first and foremost of ourselves, and then closely followed by our families and our loved ones and whatever. That's the matrix. Me, I think of the whole, that I am a microcosmic aspect of, and I seek to heal the whole to bring it together. I, the microcosm of the macrocosm. I see beyond the lies, beyond the shadows. I fought the demons to come to this awareness and knowing, and I share it in order that I may empower, enlighten and enable you to realise we've realised the real lies as to who and what you truly are, and not something they've made you a name. And we can come together to end the circle of life in order that we may live. We have to come together and attack the bloodlines that perpetuate this infinite cycle of enslavement of mind, body, spirit and soul against us today, against us yesterday, against our ancestors yesterday, and against who we will be in the future. If this message resonates, share the message. Don't share me, share the message. Either of the BitChute channels, Odyssey, Rumble, Brighteon, or YouTube. Share the message. Don't create an altar for me, and don't look at anybody else on an altar unless it is you and you're looking down on others to help them up. Palamia, thank you. In Lakesh, in you I see an enemy. Mitakoi Ayasin, we are all related, we are all relatives. And I tell you, we're all connected.